what's your problem with Spotify?
My problem with Spotify is free should not be eternal. And what Daniel Ek fails to recognize is he hasn't been a good partner to the community, the creative community. He has a great service, but there is a free platform that is ad-supported that does not make money, that will ultimately implode upon itself. He's got to find a way to have people to continue to fall in love with the product, but love it enough to pay for it, because music has value, and if you truly value it, paying $10 a month, you should be proud to pay at least $10 a month for all the great music you have. So he's got to understand, come on, everybody, yeah. So he's just got to understand that if he doesn't support this community, that we're not going to support him.
If you don't support him, you talked about how he has to be able to build this business. If you don't support him by doing things like pulling music off of it, can he build that business? Or do you basically de facto make sure he can't?
Well, you know, we're not looking to put him out of business. We're looking to have him be a better partner, because what he's built is actually a very strong platform. But if he doesn't support us back, we won't be able to afford to continue to develop artists and support what he is building. So, you know, I'm not sure if he's more interested in just being very wealthy, or if he really does care about the music community.
Scooter, let me ask you, you among other things have a small investment in Spotify. So I guess, why is Scott wrong?
Scott isn't wrong. When I was in college, you gotta let me finish before you boo. When I was in college, Napster came out, and the entire music industry didn't have conversations. They ignored them, and they watched technology kick our ass. And that has happened every single time. Our entire industry was actually created by technology. The idea that the radio came about actually made an industry for us to have in the first place, and every single time we try to fight technology, it kicks our ass and it shifts. So the way I looked at it was, Daniel was doing something very disruptive. And we were on a list, a 30 under 30 list together. And I called everyone on the list to introduce myself, and I met Daniel, and it wasn't in the States yet. We became friends, I saw what he was doing. And I think the best way for me to help Scott win his argument, because I agree with him, and I think for all my artists and the fact that I want content to have value, is to be able to call as an investor in the company and tell Daniel I think he's wrong. And I do that. I say, look, Daniel, I understand you're bringing people in, and he has, because he's created this consumer loyalty with Spotify. And even recently we saw, other competitors come and their numbers shot up.
Yeah.
That being said, Daniel's starting to listen, because I'm not attacking him or going at his throat and saying, I want to kill you or I'm going to shut you down. When you have an act like Taylor, you can do certain things.
You have granted it's a slightly different relationship, but you have some acts that could
No,
have
yeah,
some
absolutely.
leverage over that.
But not a lot of managers or label owners are in the position we are, and they can't take their music off Spotify and make a difference the way Taylor can. And I applaud Taylor for what she and Scott did. At the same time, I'm choosing to do a little bit differently, of saying, look, we're invested, we're your partner, and we're out there publicly rooting for you, but you need to hear what we're saying. And I can tell you, and Scott does know this, behind the scenes he's slowly starting to understand that. And it will get to a point where we butt heads, but you do that with your partners.
Do you think Daniel / Spotify is being honest with artists when the checks get cut? Do you think they're cutting the checks they're supposed to be cutting?
You want to answer that first?
Well, I think that they are. I don't think there's any lack of transparency. It's just that it's a very young platform. And the biggest problem that we have overall is he's trying to say that one size fits all, that everything should be free. Well, when you've created value with an artist in music, those should be in the premium platform. And that was part of our conversation. It's like, well, with some of our established artists, why don't you make your premium service more robust and make them available in premium only? And he just refuses to do that and puts everything into free. But what Scooter's talking about is we are making headway. There are a couple of moments. So I think he's heading our way. And, I'm not going to be a hypocrite. We have a lot of music that's on Spotify. As far as a promotional vehicle, it's very good. He's just got to understand that you can't have an eternal, free, ad-supported platform.